easy cry. I'm a sentimental cry. You guys watch Psych? Psych is one of my favorite shows of all time. Anyways, I have tears in my eyes right now. I'm going to have trouble talking, but hopefully it went away. All that happens at the sanitarium, to continue our conversation, is that you come in here, she pokes you with needles filled with, like, unknown fluids and colored objects, and anyways, it makes you better. Don't be fooled by her meager dress and obviously friendly temperament. This is a terrible place to be. But what happens is you put people in the sanitarium and it gets rid of one of their red abilities. So this is how over the long term you can cultivate some characters. So let's say that one character gets ahead of the others. He's like level 4 and he does level 1.
Most will end up here,
you may
covered in the poisoned earth,
cultivate him as a one,
awaiting
like,
merciful oblivion.
So you can get rid of all of his problems while everybody else levels up, and that'll leave him with no red abilities, like 5 or 6 yellow abilities, which are good, and so he becomes like a very, very powerful character. So for example, with Reynald, it's a smart idea to get rid of Kleptomaniac because bad things will happen. Let's have a look at our roster though. Let's see who we can recruit before we start like hiring and firing. Oh good, I almost never get the Grave Robber. I never get Grave Robbers, like seriously. They just don't come up. So we've got room for a couple of things right here. What can I do? Let's increase our hero barracks for right now because we have enough deeds to do so. Yeah, I'll go ahead and drop that right now. That's going to give us more room so we can have 11 people, I think. A minor UI change that I'd like to see made is give me a number up here at the top that tells me how many heroes I can have and how many heroes I already have. I can count perfectly fine, but it would be nice to have a spot on the UI where I can just look real fast and be like, okay, I have 8 out of 11, and I can know exactly how many people I want to recruit. For right now, though, the next one's going to increase it to 13. Alright, that seems alright. We've got a Jester. The Jester's a character we haven't seen just yet. The Jester's kind of an interesting character with the regard that he's not really incredibly useful, but when he's useful, he's super useful. So a Jester is a support character, or it can be a mainline character. This Jester has no place in our party, I don't think, because he's got terrible abilities. His abilities, Inspiring Tune can be very, very useful, but it can only be used from the back line. Battle Ballad is okay, but once again, you stack it during the course of a fight, and so by the time it's stacked up high enough to be useful, the fight's probably halfway over. Dirt Stab moves him to the front line, therefore nullifying all of his other abilities. So, this Jester is not so good. The case in which the Jester is good is when he's more of a rogue. So the Jester can have a build with Slice Off, Heroic End, and Harvest, where you can have him in the second part of your line, like right here. And he's actually a very good DPSer, and then in the off chance that you have like anything else happen, he can fill in as a third party member as well. If he gets Battle Ballad, I almost said Party Ballad, not Party Ballad, Battle Ballad. I'm not going to be popping any drinks right now. We're going to be popping blood veins and things. Is there anything other than a blood vein? I feel like that was a little bit... Yeah, I'm going to have to take that one back right there. A little bit redundant. But anyways, if you get Battle Ballad and you get all of his melee abilities, like these 3 right here, he's a good third. He's a very, very good third. But anything else, and they're kind of terrible. So like I said, Jesters are one of the few classes that can be just utterly terrible.
Quickly down there in the dark.
If you get the right
but
abilities.
Perhaps we can slay them even faster.
We've got Phantasme, the Berserker. So she's a Hellion. Essentially all that she is she's a Viking. Like kind of like a Viking barbarian. I don't know. She looks kind of like the... She looks a little bit like the barbarian from Diablo, so I'm assuming that's where they got the inspiration from. Like I said, a lot of the classes in this game, you can tell they come from other stuff, and then they just kind of like, it was a little bit of a homage, I guess. Anyways, this character looks like the barbarian from Diablo, so that's where I'm going to say she's from, because it makes me happy to think that after my character finished their journeys,
the match
they went on and did something else. I don't know,
a blazing star is born.
This character, once again, can be good or terrible. She's actually pretty terrible. She's got a number of abilities. She hits really hard. Their accuracy is low, but she hits really hard, so that's what her ability is. The other thing is she's missed out on a lot of abilities right now. So, if it bleeds is okay. It puts a bleed on the enemy, as it sounds like. She's got the AoE, which is important. And she's got bleed out, which unfortunately... It's a melee attack that hits harder, but it gives her a debuff. So essentially, if you want to hit really hard just to finish a fight, it's a great ability. But by and large, I prefer that she not have this ability. The abilities that I would go for if I wanted this character would be Wicked Hack, Barbaric Yacht, Breakthrough, and then Adrenaline Rush. Those would be the 4 that I would go for a perfect barbarian if you wanted her to be a frontline combatant. Breakthrough Breakthrough is by far the all-star right here because of its crit chance. It's an AoE ability that hits the first 3 characters in a line with an increased crit chance, and so it crits all the time for like 11, 12, 17 damage, which can wipe out their entire first line, second line, and third line on the first turn if you get lucky. So we'll bring her along because we need filler characters, but just be aware, I'm probably going to fire her later on because she's got bad stats.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Alternatively, Rosai. Rosai has a nuke heal, so Rosai could fill in as, like we did with Revere. This character could fill in as a nuke heal, and in fact, I would strongly consider... I like McCult, her abilities work. Like, basically, she has synergy for the 3rd and 4th position. Revere is a very, very good second-line person, but I may get rid of Revere. We have room, so I'm going to bring Rosai for right now and not fire Revere.
Battle, pious and unrelenting.
And then Newfmarch, however you prefer to say it, she's got bad abilities. It looks like she's got a speed nerf, nocturnal, okay, she's soft, which means she has less HP. However, 5% of 20, so she lost 1 HP right there. It's not really that big of a deal. Her abilities, I don't have a lot of experience with this character because in my experience, she drops and becomes available a lot less frequently than other characters. I see her by far less than everything else. She just never comes up for me. She's got Lunge, which moves her forward by 2 and deals damage. Probably will never get used. She's got Shadow Fade, which moves her back by 1. And
confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
It stuns an enemy and moves her back in the line. She got Thrown Dagger, which can hit the back line.
A trifling
but she's missing
victory.
Her all-star ability, which is Flashing
But a
Daggers,
victory
and
nonetheless.
You also want Pick to the Face. You want Pick to the Face and you want Flashing Daggers. She's got Toxin Trickery, which increases her dodge chance, and cures any blight or bleed, which is a pretty decent ability if you want to pop it off early in a combat just to see if she can get out of the way. But by and large, we had actually really, really bad luck on this go with our ability rolls. So most of these characters are probably not going to get used. I don't want to hurt your feelings or make you sad, but I'm not going to slot them in just because this game is all about winning as much as possible. If you start losing, it's real, real bad. So anyways, let's get people's stress taken care of. I'm going to take Boneth, and we'll throw Boneth into the Penance Hall. We're going to take Reynald and throw him into the Transept. I almost clicked the wrong thing right here. I don't know why I clicked that. I have no clue. I can't explain it to you right now. Everybody else is looking reasonably okay. Enough so that I wouldn't really get out there and use any of the abilities if I couldn't help it. I think that people's stress is perfectly fine right now. Running double healers is a viable strategy, and in fact is a good strategy for farming up HP, XP, and everything else. So things to think about right there. Let's check out the guild.
Make no mistake. We will face ever greater threats. Our soldiers must be ready.
So in the guild, it's going to allow you to train your characters and upgrade their abilities, which is a very, very important thing. If you can increase their abilities, it increases the efficiency, it increases the proficiency of the abilities, so you can level up them nuke heals, level up them attacks, and actually the effects can be sort of like satisfying sometimes. You can get extra crit chance, all kinds of good stuff, so there is something to be gained in here by increasing your skills. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
The bellows blast once again. The forge stands ready to make weapons of war.
Are there any other type of weapons? Like, aren't all weapons meant for war? Like, it's very, very rare that you find something like, oh, this is a great gun for leisure. Like, well, you can skeet shoot with it, you can go hunting, so I guess that's leisurely. I guess that would be the distinction I would make, but still, weapons of war, like all weapons, like, at the end of the day, the gun is a weapon, and weapons are used for protection. That was ultimately what most people used it for. So I guess weapon of war, I guess there's a little bit more wiggle room than I let on. Basically right here, you can upgrade stuff. It's expensive though, and it takes a long time, because to upgrade somebody's weapon, you need weaponsmithing and furnace, and like a couple of other things. Or no, you don't need that, but anyways, your characters have to have specific things as well. So it gets expensive real fast upgrading gear. Make sure that you're not upgrading people that you're just going to fire later on when they get too many traits that bog down. For right now, we've got the abilities and the stuff, I think, to upgrade the church, which is busts and crests, I think. So we should probably just do that here.
Mount,
let's go ahead
so
and we'll go with the
will
transept.
resistance.
Go with the cloister and the transept for right now.
Gilded icons and dogmatic rituals. For some, a tonic against the bloodshed.
So basically, all the first rank is going to do is going to increase the amount of stress
the
recovery
promise
you
of
get when you
safety.
check somebody in for treatment. The next one is going to reduce the cost, which is pretty good. The third one is going to give you another slot so that multiple people can go in for healing at the same time. And then after that, it's just more of the same. Feeling pretty good about our purchases right now. If you could find something that was busts and portraits, I think that might work.
Begone,
We've got
fiend.
busts and crests. We've got busts, oh no, crests and portraits. We've got portraits and crests. We've got deeds, and that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. I've never gotten the survivalist yet. I don't know when you get the survivalist, but I assume that you get like firewood from him or something. I don't know. I figure he's probably useful somehow. That is there, but you can, it's not clickable, but it's clickable. I don't know. We can't actually spend some of the stuff that we have, so let's just embark on another adventure, shall we? That sounds like
quickly
fun.
the tide turns.
On this side, we now have the ability to go... No, we don't actually. We don't have the ability to go to the wall, so that's fine. That works out for me. We might want to give ourselves a medium adventure, just to see if we can maybe... What is that?
This expedition
Flash fire
at least
gunpowder.
promises
It's for the
success.
highwayman only. It gives him more damage and less accuracy. Considering how much he gets dodged, I'm not really sure I would go after that one. We have 2 mediums and a short. Yeah, let's try out a medium. I'm going to show you guys how the campfires work. I think that'll be a fun way to show off.
The way
game.
is lit.
I'm going to go with
The path is
Rosai,
clear.
who's going to be a...
We require only the strength to follow it.
a second, I think. We're going to take... he's kind of terrible. I suppose we'll take Dismas. His stress is not so high to where I'm worried about him going crazy in the next fight. We'll take Revere as our backline healer, I guess. He has nothing but the heal right there, but I think I'm okay with it. Or wait, who else did I... with Rosai? Which one was the one that did better in the back line? Somebody here did better in the back line. It was McCult. Did I already put McCult in? I'm sorry, McCult goes to the back line. And then from there, we're going to bring Phantasmi as our frontline warrior. That actually gives me a little bit of leeway to move him forward. I'll try and get a better grave robber. Like, I just... Unfortunately, Noof March is not that good. Her abilities are kind of terrible right now. And so I would prefer to get one with a little... There's specific builds. A lot of this meta that goes into this game is that some characters are just inherently better than others. Like, a lot of the abilities in this game need to have, like, slight tweaks made to make them a little bit more useful.
Executed
But
with
as it stands right now,
impunity.
you can get a combination of abilities that just make somebody useless. And so I tend to, like, stay away when that happens. This character prefers to be in the second position, so we might be able to make that work right there. She's got a nuke heal, so yeah, that'll work out for us. I'm feeling good about this. Let's ride. For a medium dungeon, this is going to be... We're going to want to stock up a little bit better. So for a medium dungeon, I would technically double whatever it is that I brought before. So I would bring 24 food. I would bring 20 torches. Just bring a lot of stuff. I would bring 2 shovels, like normal. A couple skeleton keys, just in case. You want to stock up a bit better, is my point. Maybe I'll make 3 stacks of torches just in case. And so that's looking pretty good right there. This
These
starting,
nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can
that's
be
just because
beaten.
there's such a vast variance in like what can happen during the course of an adventure. So I'm not gonna bring any cures or anything because they all fall off on their own. So I figured it'll be all right. Let's embark.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar. Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration. obliterated. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. The bigger the beast, the greater the glory. Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home. Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted and purpose is made clear. A singular strike. In Radiance, may we find victory. Some experiments should have never happened. You are doing just work ending them. Once, our estate was the envy of this land. Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally. I knew all these paths once. Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions. Begone, fiend! A devastating blow. Ambushed by foul invention. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. A powerful blow. A singular strike. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption. The light, the promise of safety. These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. As the light gains purchase, Spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood. The match is struck. A blazing star is born. Paths and roads bring soldiers and supplies. Let them arrive unharried. The poor caretaker. I fear his long-standing duties here have affected him. This man understands that adversity and existence are one and the same. Word is traveling. Ambition is stirring in distant cities. We can use this. A sharper sword, a stronger shield, anything to prolong a soldier's life. The front line of this war is not in the dungeon, but rather inside the mind. Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil. Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood. The match is struck. A blazing star is born. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles. As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. This expedition at least promises success. Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies. Ancient traps lie in wait. unsprung and thirsting for blood. Executed with impunity. Begone, fiend! Ambushed by foul invention. A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless. In Radiance, may we find victory. Well struck. As victories mount, so too will resistance. These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten. Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption, malformed with misintent. Curious is the trap maker's art, his efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes. The light, the promise of safety. As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear. The way is lit, the path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it. Without tools of iron, you must rely on flesh and indefatigable purpose. There can be no hope in this hell. No hope at all. Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer. Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered. The match is struck. A blazing star is born. Circle in the dark. The battle may yet be won. The agents of pestilence will yet be driven from our woods. In truth, I cannot tell how much time has passed since I sent that letter. In the end, every plan relies upon a strong arm and tempered steel.